Here are all the Marvel movies and TV shows that will be released in 2023 in chronological order.
As I'm recording this, there's actually been some breaking news. It sounds like multiple Disney Plus Marvel shows that were scheduled for 2023 are going to be pushed to 2024. The affected shows are Agatha, Coven of Chaos, Echo, What If Season 2, and X-Men 97. This isn't a for certain thing yet, but I have left these shows off this list for now. I'll post an update if these shows get confirmed for 2023.
I'm also including the Sony Pictures Spider-Man related movies because even though they weren't done by Marvel Studios, they're still Marvel characters.
First up, we've got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which will be premiering on the Disney Channel on February 10th and then shortly after on Disney+. This kid-friendly show follows 13-year-old super genius Lunella Lafayette and her T-Rex Devil Dinosaur as they protect New York City's Lower East Side from danger. I'm not the target audience for this, but it looks like it's actually a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to check it out. The animation style is really cool. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania releases February 17th. The film centers around Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hope's parents Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, and Lang's daughter Cassie exploring the quantum realm. Jonathan Majors is playing Kang the Conqueror, a time-traveling multiversal villain. We saw this character, or at least a version of this character, in the Disney Plus Loki show. They seem to be setting him up as the next big villain, as we already know there will be a 2025 Avengers movie called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. I wouldn't be at all surprised if this movie sets up Cassie's superhero persona. In the comics, she has gone by the name Stature and by the name Stinger. I prefer Stinger myself. Bill Murray will also be in this movie, reportedly playing an extremely obscure character called Krylar. This character was only in one Incredible Hulk comic from 1972. Regardless, I'm excited to see Murray join the MCU. This movie will also have MODOK in it. MODOK is a supervillain whose name stands for Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing. He's a pretty ridiculous looking character, so I'm interested in seeing how the MCU will adapt him. I'm a huge fan of Ant-Man 1 and 2, so I'm really looking forward to this movie, which will be kicking off Phase 5 of Marvel's movie timeline. Hopefully this will bring some cohesion and direction to all its varied and seemingly unrelated projects. Secret Invasion is a Disney Plus 6-episode series releasing sometime in the spring. It stars Samuel L. Jackson and is loosely based off of the Secret Invasion comic book storyline by Brian Michael Bendis. In the comics, the Skrulls attempt to invade Earth and use their shape-shifting abilities to impersonate politicians and superheroes. The trailer has a really cool vibe to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing Nick Fury play a central role. It will be interesting to see why the Skrulls are attempting to infiltrate Earth, as they were Earth's ally in the Captain Marvel movie, though perhaps this is a different faction of Skrulls. Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke will be joining the cast and is rumored to be playing Abigail Brand. In the comics, she is a commanding officer of SWORD, which is an offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. that defends Earth from extraterrestrial threats. This is the Disney Plus show that I am most looking forward to, but I am a bit worried that it is only 6 episodes. I found most of the other 6-episode Marvel shows to feel a little rushed, especially in the final episode. Next up is the movie that I am most looking forward to. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 releases in theaters on May 5th. After purchasing Nowhere from the Collector, the Guardians of the Galaxy attempt to make it a safe haven for alien refugees. This movie will also introduce the High Evolutionary, a scientist who specializes in evolution and Rocket's creator who seeks to forcibly enhance all living beings into a special race. Here's a fun fact: the High Evolutionary is the father of Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman in the comics, and is the person who gave her superpowers. The trailer for Volume 3 looks very dark, and director James Gunn has made statements that seem to indicate one or more of the characters will die in this film, and the team will never be the same. I'm putting my money on Drax dying. Maybe Nebula, though the trailer does seem to suggest it might be Rocket who kicks the bucket. The reason why I think it might be Drax is that his character has no direction going forward. He was really all about destroying Thanos, and well, Thanos is destroyed. Dave Bautista has also made some comments online that seem to indicate that he is done with the character of Drax. One thing is for sure, this movie looks like it's going to be emotional, and I am very excited about it. We should also see Will Porter's Adam Warlock make an appearance. He's the powerful artificial being created by the Sovereign to destroy the Guardians, as teased at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Warlock is a major player in the comics, so I'm excited to see what they do with this character. Sony Pictures' Across the Spider-Verse releases in theaters on June 2nd. Miles Morales is unexpectedly approached by Spider-Gwen, who asks him to help her save the multiverse of Spider-People from a mysterious new villain who could cause a catastrophic disaster. He and Gwen journey through the multiverse together and meet its protectors, a group of Spider-People known as the Spider-Force. However, Miles finds himself at odds with both the Spider-Force and Gwen on how to handle the threat. I actually have a video where I break down this trailer and give you the comic book origins of all the Spider characters I can spot. I'll link it in the description and on the screen right now. I am super stoked for this movie. I have a hard time actually ranking the Spider-Man films as I've been reading Spider-Man comics for 25 years and I am a huge Spider-Man fan, but Into the Spider-Verse would definitely fall into my top 3 Spider-Man movies. I think Sony actually has a pretty poor track record as of late with Venom 1 and 2 and Morbius, but man, they really nailed Into the Spider-Verse. I have very high expectations for this film that I am currently trying to temper. Loki Season 2 will be 6 episodes long and is streaming on Disney Plus sometime this summer. There are a lot of different directions this series could go after the first season, which saw Loki getting booted into a different timeline, which seems to have already been conquered by Kang. I think Season 1 of this show is one of the more successful Disney Plus Marvel shows in 2022, so I'm really looking forward to what they do in this new season. If you liked Season 1 and the Time Variance Authority, I suggest you check out The Umbrella Academy. It's a fantastic show based on a comic written by My Chemical Romance's singer Gerard Way, and it has a similar vibe to Loki Season 1, but I think it's the better show. Ironheart is a 6-episode Disney Plus series that will be released in the fall of 2023. If you've seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you will know that Riri Williams is a brilliant inventor who created her own Iron Man suit. Not a lot is known about the plot of this series yet, but we do know that Anthony Ramos will be playing Parker Robbins, aka the Hood. In the comics, Parker Robbins is a petty thief who is confronted by a demon while robbing a warehouse. He kills a demon and steals its cloak and boots, which give him the ability to turn invisible and fly. I'm cautiously optimistic about this series. I enjoyed Ironheart and Wakanda Forever, but again, I'm concerned about it only being 6 episodes long. The Marvels is coming to theaters July 28th. Following the events of Miss Marvel, spoilers if you haven't seen it, Carol Danvers, Kamala Khan, and Monica Rambeau begin swapping places with each other every time they use their powers and must team up to figure out why. I really wanted to like the Miss Marvel Disney Plus show, but it never really grabbed me. Similarly, while I don't hate 2019's Captain Marvel like a lot of people on the internet, I do think it is one of the weaker MCU films. Monica Rambeau's character was interesting in WandaVision, but we didn't really get to see a lot of her. I also sometimes find that the more powerful a superhero is, the less interested I tend to be in that character. I tend to gravitate towards more grounded characters like Spider-Man and Daredevil. Don't get me wrong, I'll be seeing this on opening weekend. I see every Marvel movie on opening weekend, but hopefully I'll get excited for this film once the trailer comes out. Sony Pictures' Kraven the Hunter is coming to theaters on October 6th. Not a lot is actually known about this movie yet, except Aaron Taylor Johnson, the actor who will be portraying Kraven, described the character as an animal lover and protector of the natural world. In the comics, Kraven is a dangerous game hunter who comes to New York City to hunt Spider-Man. His most famous comic book storyline is Kraven's Last Hunt, where he defeats Spider-Man and buries him alive. He then masquerades as Spider-Man to prove to himself that he is superior to his old nemesis. He essentially goes crazy during this storyline and ends up committing suicide. While he's often depicted as being one with nature, at the end of the day in the comics, he is a hunter. He made a vest out of a lion's face. It seems strange that this movie would try to portray him as an animal lover and a protector of the natural world. As I said earlier, I'm not a fan of the Venom movies and Morbius, so I don't have a lot of faith that Sony knows what they are doing with these characters. But I'm trying to reserve my judgment until I at least see a trailer for the movie.
Thank you for watching. If you like this, leave a like and let me know in the comments what you're most excited about. And most importantly, make sure you're following me, you friggin' nerd.